Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the difference between soft and hard light. So what's the difference between hard light and soft light? Now, the key distinction is in the shadows. And if you go out and you're out and about in the full sun and you look down at your shadow, you're going to notice that you have a very harsh, defined shadow. This is because the sun is a hard light source. But then what happens when a cloud comes over? It creates a nice diffused, soft light source. And what happens to your shadow? It dithers away. The edges become a lot more gradual. They're less defined. And if it's a really cloudy day, you may not be able to even see where your shadow is at all. It's so diffused. So this is the same principle that we want to apply to our lighting. Soft lighting is beautiful, and it's definitely a technique that you want to be adding to your toolkit. Now, why is soft lighting something that you should pay attention to? Well, it all comes down to blemishes and what it does to the face. If you grab out a light out of your light kit, most of the times, if you just point it at somebody, it's going to be a hard light source. And what happens when you point a hard light source at someone? Well, you're gonna get sharp, defined shadows, and there's going to be a tendency to highlight blemishes, pimples, wrinkles, and things like that. Things that we would typically try and hide. Now, there are two main ways that you can soften a light source. The first is called diffusion, and the second is called bouncing. Okay, let's jump into diffusion. Now, of the attachments and the accessories that I'm going to share with you today, they all achieve three key things. The first thing is they make the light source bigger, and the larger the light source, the softer it will become. The second thing is density. The more layers of diffusion that light has to pass through, the softer it will become. The third factor is distance. Once you have that large, beautiful, creamy light source, you want to bring it in as close as possible. The closer it is to the subject, the more those shadows are just going to melt away. The light will wrap around the face and you'll get that beautiful, soft magazine look. Now, how do you diffuse a light source? Well, there's two tools that I want to share with you today. The first is diffusion paper. Now, this is going to be a little bit noisy, but this is diffusion paper. It is specially made paper that's designed to go in front of your light source. And it will take that tiny little bulb that you've got on your light and it will spread it over the full surface area of this diffusion paper. Now, if you want to buy some of this, there's two companies that make it, Lee Filters and Roscoe Filters. And thankfully, they both use the same code for full white diffusion, and that is 216. I did mention it was noisy. The second attachment is a softbox or an octabox. And essentially what it is this is an attachment that you can mount onto the front of your light. And as you can see, it adds distance between the light itself and that diffused area. And that allows the light to fill the space and become this nice, big, beautiful, soft light. Now, this softbox is a fairly small one, and it has a single layer of diffusion. But you can get ones that are much, much larger as well. Now, if you just Google the model of your light plus softbox, there are softbox attachments made for pretty much every light out on the market. So you'll be able to find something. So now that we've had a look at some of the tools we can use, let's put them into practice. First, we're going to have a look at hard light, pointing directly at our subject. Now, I apologize to Lauren, my fiance, in advance. She's beautiful under any lighting condition, but some are more flattering than others. As you can see, we have harsh, defined shadows, and it's highlighting some aspects of the face that may not be as flattering as a softer light source. Now we're going to add our diffusion paper. And as you can see, we've taken that very small point of light, the original hard light source, and it's spread it out over a small surface area, but it is bigger than the raw bulb. Now, this is softening the light, but not by a whole lot. It is helping to melt those shadows and create some graduation, but they're still fairly defined. Now we're going to add our small softbox. And as you can see, this is a much larger surface area than just pegging diffusion paper onto the front of the light. And that has created a much softer look. Those shadows are really starting to melt and graduate nicely, and it's really starting to look very flattering. Now we're gonna take it up a notch. I'm gonna put on our massive 48-inch parabolic softbox. And this actually has two layers of diffusion, one in the middle of the softbox and then one on the outside. So you're getting double the softness. And as you can see, when this one's up nice and close, it's beautiful. It's beautifully creamy, it's soft, those shadows are almost imperceptible, and you just get that gorgeous magazine quality look. When I want to shoot a subject with ultra soft beauty lighting, this is my go-to tool. Now, let's look at the second way to soften light, bouncing. Bouncing operates on a similar way to diffusion, but instead of passing through a surface, it's reflected off that surface. Here you'll see we have a hard light and it is bouncing into a piece of polyboard and reflecting that beautiful soft light back onto our subject's face. Because the surface of the bounce board is much larger, it gives us that same effect as diffusion. Now you can bounce light off essentially anything. You can bounce it off a wall, you can bounce it off a roof, you can even get really creative and use things like books or hands to reflect light back into your subject's face. And the larger the surface that you're bouncing off, the softer that light is going to be. One thing to bear in mind is you want to bounce your light off something perfectly white so that it doesn't create any color shifts in your light. If you bounce something into a yellow object, you're going to end up with yellow light. If you bounce something into a red object, you'll end up with red light. So there you have it. That's how you can use diffusion and bouncing to turn a hard light source into a soft light source. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this content, please leave us a message down in the comments, hit like, hit subscribe to see more videos just like this, and we will see you again very soon in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.